Hey there.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for doing this, putting this
No
all
problem.
together on such short notice.
No problem.
And we're live right now too?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
crazy here.
Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning. Does it get less crazy if I move without the sun?
I think you just muted yourself too. Good morning, Misha. Latrice.
Good morning.
Good
Sorry, I
morning.
had to come outside. There's too many people and dogs in the house. So, do we have public as well?
It's just the same format as the last meeting, so we're live on YouTube.
Okay.
But we
So-
do have someone when it comes to that time that would like to speak.
Okay. Are we waiting for the boys or?
I texted them. I have not heard back.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to switch over to my agenda. So should we just start? What do we think? Did they respond to you, Misha?
Not to me, but I think they know about the meeting, right, Janelle and Michael?
Yeah, Thad didn't respond to the invite, but Larry did.
Larry's probably at home. I don't know where I don't know where Thad went. Oh, he's not on mandatory.
No, he's in the warning zone.
Some people are in the mandatory and don't go anyway. Well, maybe I'll just start.
I
10:05.
think we should.
Okay.
I can
Well,
call.
good morning and welcome to the Middletown Unified School District Special Board of Trustees meeting, Saturday, August 22nd, 2020. We're public meeting at 10 a.m. Some of us are in the district office conference room, I think. I don't know if any of you are there or not. Welcome to the Middletown USD School Board meeting. As authorized by the Governor's Emergency Executive Order issued on March 12th, the Middletown Unified School District Board of Trustees will conduct Board of Education meetings via video conference / telecommute until further notice. The meeting will be streamed via MUSD's live YouTube channel. Telecommuting members of the public who wish to address the board during the meeting are asked to complete the telecommunicating public comment form prior to the start of the meeting. If you are unable to access the Google form, please email Janelle.Woodruff, WOODRUFF, at middletownusd.org to submit your comment. Staff will make all attempts to share and record any submissions received prior to or during the meeting. Documents provided to a majority of the governing board regarding this agenda will be posted on the district's website at www.middletownusd.org and clicking on District Board of Trustees. Excuse me. Agenda. Call the public meeting to order at 10:06 and establish a quorum. Misha?
Here.
Latrice?
Here.
Larry make it?
He's on his way. I just heard back from him.
Okay. And we have no Thad, so we do have a quorum. So we've got 3 of us. We're going to open the public session at 10:07. And Misha, do you want to start with the Pledge of Allegiance?
I do not have the flag with me.
Can everyone
So
turn towards a flag in there?
everybody turn towards a flag, and I guess we will say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay. Pledge allegiance. Oh,
To
sorry.
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Misha. Do we have any adjustments to the agenda? Janelle or Michael, is everything as is?
Yes, no changes.
Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Was that Misha? Thanks, Latrice. All in favor?
Yes.
Yep. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Statements and questions from members of the public regarding items on the agenda. At this point on the agenda, opportunity is provided for an individual or representative of a group to make statements to the board regarding only items on the agenda, as this is a special board meeting. A speaker shall be limited to 3 minutes per board bylaw 9323. Is this where we have someone who wants to speak, Janelle?
Yes, it's Susanna Macedo and she is in the waiting room and I'll let her in now.
Perfect, thank you.
Go ahead when you're ready.
That's crazy.
Susanna, we're ready whenever you are.
I'm sorry, please go ahead. I'm just watching.
Oh, we're ready whenever you are.
I'll only be watching.
Susanna, I think you had signed up maybe to put in public comment. And so you're in the meeting now. If there's something that you'd like to say.
No, I'm sorry. Perhaps I signed up in the wrong format. I just wanted to observe.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
nice to hear from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye.
Okay, then. Let me get back to my agenda. Okay, can I get a motion to approve or not approve the delayed school start date so we can put it on the,
I move to approve.
I'll second.
okay, thank you. So is this you, Michael, or?
Yes, ma'am. I would just like to give you a little bit of background. I've been doing some investigation and I don't believe this is an approve or not approve item anymore. I think it's more of a discussion and maybe some guidance from board members. So I'll share a little bit of that information with you. As you know, in past years, fires such as this have not only devastated local communities, but also significantly impacted LEAs due to declining student enrollment and attendance. And since average daily attendance generates our primary source of funding for LEAs, the loss of that ADA, it has a significant negative impact on our budgets. In order to help mitigate those losses, the state has provided in years past a waiver process so that we are not penalized for the ADA loss due to some of these emergencies. That's through the submittal form of the J13A, and that's the title, Form J13A, Request for Allowance of Attendance Due to Emergency Conditions. There's education code references that I could give you as well, but it basically allows us to receive credit for lost ADA for the days of the closure, as well as material decrease in student attendance resulting from emergency and or for the missed instructional time. So that last item is one that is key in our current circumstances. As we are aware, due to COVID-19, apportionments for the fiscal year 2021 are being funded based off of the 1920 second principal apportionment and the annual ADA. Therefore, any decrease in the ADA due to the fires, it won't affect our apportionment. However, closure to fires will impact the instructional time. So there is a document from the CDE. It's called the 2020-21 Funding and Instructional Time. And there's a frequently asked questions section. And it basically says to avoid instructional time penalty for not meeting the annual instruction day requirement, you should submit that form. So due to the current conditions in Hidden Valley, having been under or is under an evacuation order, and my general numbers say that about 55% of our student base lives in Hidden Valley and about 70% of our teachers. So when this order went into effect, we missed out on 2 days of prep time. And so basically when the order is lifted, we would like some time to be able to have families get back into their homes, get settled a little bit, and then prepare for students.
So in the past, well, I think every time's been after school started. I'm trying to remember, but we've just gone with the waiver and we didn't delay the school start. So that's basically what you're suggesting we do right now.
Correct. If we delay the start day, we'll have to add days at the end of the school year. And I don't recommend that. I think right now, I'm hoping this will be a short thing and the evacuation order will be lifted soon and people can come back into their homes. The last few reports I've gotten are looking like it's heading that way, although we just don't know. And you guys know better than I do since you've all been through this, but
I don't think we're out of the woods for several days, so it's not something that staff or students should have to be worrying about when they're worrying about at a moment's notice whether they're evacuating their homes for the ones who haven't.
But I will also say that there's some semblance of order, and parents and students like that order, and they may be displaced from their home, but having a schedule, being able to meet with their teacher and can be really, really valuable as well, that structure and order. So it's a balance.
It is a hard one. I know that currently I'm evacuated with a couple other families, and if I had to try and do some kind of school here, it would be mayhem. So I don't know what it looks like for everyone else, but
Well,
so
not to mention the teachers who are gone from their homes and they don't have all
exactly
that they need to even be able to run their classrooms.
right. If they're in a hotel room, or it could be really difficult, and who knows if they were able to take those materials with them. So it just seems like really all we can do. I mean, maybe the teachers who aren't, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this. This is just thinking out loud. Maybe teachers who aren't evacuated and are bored could throw something up on the screen for those people who need some structure. It'll give the kids something to do. I don't know. And if there's
I
any,
think the issue is also we have at least Coyote Valley and perhaps Mini Cannon as well. Which elementaries were planning on distributing all the information yesterday? Was it Mini Cannon and Coyote Valley?
And the high school, I believe, and
Well, the high school still has, I know, I'm fairly certain 80 students who either don't have devices or don't have the information, plus students that were not able to get to orientation. So even if they have devices, they don't have the information on how to get onto Google. So even if we wanted to start school on Monday, there's really no way, because
right.
not all students would have accessibility.
that's correct.
So, and so speaking of, let's say, so Middletown's under advisory evacuation or warning. Cobb is not at this time. However, there are Cobb teachers who probably live in the other areas and they're so close. Is there any issue with the waiver for those areas? Because they're not evacuated? I just feel like it should all be lumped into one. We're such a small community, really.
I think that where our middle school and high school all go together, it shouldn't be an issue because those are their campuses as well.
Right.
And I believe parts of Middletown are on mandatory evacuation as well.
Yes, they are.
Outside.
Everything east of the highway and south of Butts Canyon is on mandatory evacuation. And the fire's moving closer to 29 and closer to, so I'm guessing that anybody who's out 29 south of town is going to get evacuated at some point here.
And those of us even on Cobb have houses full of people.
Right, exactly.
My house is a crazy zoo. I may be home, but it's not normal.
Yeah, I think that it's such a close-knit community that everybody's going to be impacted no matter where their house is. It could be their teacher, it could be, who knows. I just don't know that we have any choices but to apply for the waiver again. They've always, knock on wood, in the past been good about it. So
And in terms of when we would start, I don't know, do we even have an idea I don't even think that we could say anything concrete at this point because we don't know what the next few days are going to hold. And even, so, I'm just throwing this out there. What if we're able to all go back to our homes on Tuesday or Wednesday? There's still all those lost days of prep time that, we didn't reach students to get them what they need. The teachers haven't finished setting up for their virtual classrooms.
I think
So-
what we did before was we kept putting it off a few days at a time and then reevaluating.
I think that's smart. I mean, obviously, I don't know that we need to push it out a ton. I think we need to just take it day by day or a couple days at a time.
We could at this point say we push it out till Wednesday.
Well,
It's only 7% contained.
and not only that, we're looking at possible lightning storms
Right.
tomorrow or Monday, and so
And a lot of wind shifts today. I was looking at them. So, I mean, at bare minimum, you'd be looking at doing prep days. We wouldn't be talking about kids at this point being back in school this week, I wouldn't think. Not only that, but if all the other fires are still going, this air quality, I mean, that puts us into another issue. The air quality isn't where we could ask anybody to go to campuses and do these, to pass out the materials anyway.
good point.
I just got a text. Cobb hasn't. There was yesterday too, and they didn't give out their stuff. So none of the elementary schools have had their handout days.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And
at
speaking
this
of,
point, I think the following Monday is more realistic, but isn't that Labor Day?
no, that's the week before.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, the calendar. I don't know what day, time, year it is.
I know.
Wait, I know it's 2020, but
Should we just call it for a week at this point and then since it doesn't require a board action really to
Yeah, so may I jump in here?
yes, please. I can't find my
So
word.
what I would like is direction and discretion from the board to be able to call emergency days the day before and take it as a day by day call. So perhaps by 5 or 6 in the evening, we'll call that day, the next day, and do that communication out to stakeholders.
If you feel like that's enough time for everyone, I have no problem giving you the direction and the power to do that on your own. If we feel like it seems like it was probably that late the last time we did this. Was that last year with the air quality or with, I don't know, so many times we've been.
Yeah, and the idea behind that would be to allow our teachers to have those prep days that they need and to prepare and get devices and hotspots in students' hands.
Exactly.
So my thinking is once the order is lifted, we're looking at probably 3 days as a minimum, and depending on the conditions and where we're at with staff able to get back, it could be a few more days.
right.
I think that sounds perfect.
And I trust you, Michael. I think you understand that it's a balancing act between making sure we can get our students back to school as soon as possible, but also not putting an unnecessary burden and requiring students to be back at school when they can't even be because they don't have the resources that they need. So it's tricky.
I will mention too that the air quality is becoming an issue. The sensor in Cobb is reading, I think this morning when I checked, is at 191 on Purple Air. And so that is like a 10-minute kind of a thing. And so the air quality can change dramatically from day to day, because the day before it was very nice.
Yeah, and it seems to change a couple times during the day, but it sounds like the winds might be shifting to the point where we could get more smoke in the next couple of days. So I don't know if anybody can see behind me, but it's pretty bad in Middletown. The air quality is really bad. Sorry.
I think, Michael, a couple of the staff members have been texting, and they're concerned that if you say at 5 or 6 at night that they have to be at work the next day, that's going to be a struggle for some of them. Can we just clarify on how that will work?
Yeah, and so I that 5 o'clock would be for students, I believe. We can kind of communicate that out. So we want to provide the teachers that prep time. And so it will be at least 2 or 3 days of prep time before students come back.
And the 5 o'clock is just telling students when they come back the next day. So the teachers already would have been back a couple days, and so they would know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a communication piece for both the staff and the students, but it's direct, that 5 o'clock would be more for students so that we could call that emergency closure if needed.
Well, and I think more communication in this case, not less, is always a good thought. So let's just get out what we do know and keep letting people know, hey, we're taking it one day at a time. And maybe every couple days sending out a note. I don't know, just at least so that people know that the district is working on it and thinking about it, and we're not
On the website and the
yeah,
Facebook and all of that. So at least
Information.
people can say, hey, we know it's a couple days out still.
right.
And I could think if that piece is put out onto Facebook, that at a minimum, they're going to know 3 days ahead by when the teachers start to go back, and then it would be on a case by case basis after that, but at least we're ready to go, provided nothing changes, provided the air quality doesn't turn or something else happens. So I think that gives everybody a little bit of notice. It can help arrange daycare, at least even if it's just on hold, you would know, okay, teachers are back in the classroom prepping unless anything goes crazy again, we know a few days out.
Right. Well, and
Just-
so once the teachers are prepping and once the school sites are prepping with Chromebooks and hotspots and all that, we're going to need to factor in families being able to go back and get their materials. So there's that aspect. And I know people are concerned about that, but I think these are all details that you're thinking of and that the principals and the staff and the teachers will be thinking of. And so accommodations will be made. It's not like, I don't think anyone needs to be concerned that they're going to be told at 5 p.m. that they need to start school and they haven't picked up their materials. Am I right about that?
Yes, ma'am. And just to clarify a little bit, my thought process so that everybody's on the same page and the people listening on live stream can hear too. So that once the evacuation order is lifted, that we would give a day at least as a minimum for families to move back in and get a little bit settled. And then we would provide those 2 days of prep time that the teachers have missed. And so if everything went smoothly like that, students would start, those prep days would include coming to the school and getting their devices and getting set up so that they could start the next day, or however the school sites choose to push that content and device delivery out. So 3 days at a minimum, possibly a little bit more depending on the circumstances and where the emergency situation is.
So a suggestion that just came through to me was that a nightly evaluation could include a multi-day projection.
Yes,
So just
that
so
would,
that it's kind of clear for those families.
yep.
Okay. Anyone have anything else to add? Okay, so maybe we make a motion to strike this from the agenda. Let's see. Let me pull it back up. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you made it. Larry's trying to call in. He's having issues with his internet connection and trying to call in via phone and having issues. So
Is Larry 688? Is that his cell phone
Yes.
number?
yes. All right.
The gang's all here.
Okay.
Okay,
Come on,
What's everybody doing?
us.
we just decided to go down to a 3-member board.
Right on.
We basically just had a discussion to not take a vote on delaying the start date, but just to apply for a waiver.
Yeah. I did some research on that myself and I'm just glad that I got on, but you guys got it handled. Awesome.
So I can either, I don't know, we have to do something about the fact that we have a motion on the table. So I can amend it to
Vote
either,
to not approve.
right, I can amend it to not approve.
Or we can all vote no
Okay,
on the motion that's on the, I mean, people can
Right.
vote however they want on the motion that's on the table. But the motion on the table is to approve the start, moving the start
Dang.
date.
right. And while it sounds like semantics, it's not, because we would be officially starting school on the books, but not actually starting school and applying for a waiver because of the natural disaster that's occurring.
And the loss of instructional time, not necessarily ADA.
Right.
Right.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
hi Larry.
Okay, finally. Oh, God. Okay, so let me see if I got caught up. The motion is to what? Approve?
So I'll catch you up really quickly. So on the agenda, the item was to approve or not approve delaying the start of school. The issue with delaying the start of school means that we're pushing the entire school year out. If we start school officially on the books, but then don't actually start school and apply for a waiver for those instructional days due to natural disaster, then we're not changing the calendar. So we're going to not approve, well, or whatever, the conversation is not to delay the start of school, but rather to start school on the books, but not actually start school, push it off, and give the superintendent the authority to push it to whatever it needs to be to allow the teachers and staff to get ready for the students to pick up the materials that they need and everything. And then we put in a waiver to the state to waive those instructional days, as we've done in the past with these types of situations.
Got it. Got it. And I'm sorry if I'm repeating questions that have already been asked.
No.
If we choose to do what you just described, does that mean when the disaster's over, all evacuations are lifted, we pick up right there and go? Or do we still have a training period for the teachers to get ready, for the materials to be passed out, all of that stuff?
We've discussed making sure that the teachers have at least 3 days, which is what they would have had, to finish everything that they need to finish, for the staff to configure Chromebooks, for students to be able to come pick up the materials that they need, and then start school after that. So all those factors would be taken into consideration.
Okay, so we would not be rushing things if we voted to go for the emergency shutdown rather than push back the year.
Correct.
Can I just get clarification on one thing? I thought that Michael had said 2 days of
Oh,
prep.
Well, 2 days of prep time, and I believe that our staff would be very benefited by being able to have a day to move back into their homes and get settled, if not more. I think it really depends on my communication with staff and where they're at. And I believe that's warranted and available in the J13 form. I think we can still ask for that.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I just
people
wanted to
got to
make
be
sure.
able to move back home.
Right.
Right. Right.
Okay, so at this point, we need to take a vote on the motion on the table. The motion on the table is to approve this pushback of the start of the year. So,
So what we're talking about is not approving it. So we would all, if we're all gonna do what we're talking about, we're gonna vote no on this.
correct.
Okay.
So all in favor? Anyone opposed?
Yes.
Yeah,
Anyone abstain? Motion is denied 5-0.
now we need a new motion.
I don't think we need a motion because I don't think it requires a vote by the board to keep
Okay.
going the way we are.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Okay.
actually, if you do it through the board, then you can't apply for a waiver.
Right.
Okay.
And
Very
we're
confusing.
adding time to the end
We're
of the
all on
school
the same
year.
page now.
So was there anything else, Michael?
No, that's the only thing. And again, I apologize for the verbiage that I put on there. But again, the idea was to ask for direction
Oh yeah, no
and the
problem.
discretion to be able to call those emergency days. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries.
So Larry, at the same time, we have given Michael the discretion to evaluate this and make the call when he feels like it's time to start the clock. And
Okay.
to call staff back in.
That works for me.
Okay.
And also to communicate with the students and parents and let them know, okay, staff are back, and just
Yes.
kind of keep everyone updated
Great.
so people aren't hanging out.
We're talking about a
Communicate.
nightly report that has a like a multi-day forecast. I mean, I
With
guess
all
we
of
can
the-
really. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. I don't know how to do this when I'm on the phone. I can't see, I can't raise my hand. So anyway, with all of the confusion and people wondering what the communication is key, we need to tell them what's going on at every step.
We agree, and we feel like there needs to be constant communication on the district website, on the Facebook pages. We can all share those. I mean, for a while, we're not going to be able really to do, I was thinking about that multiple day projection when we don't know that we're back yet. There may be question marks on those for a while, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't think this week there's too many question marks.
Excellent.
So, okay, so can I get a motion to, what's the word I'm looking for? Adjourn.
Adjourn?
Thank you. Movie, the movie. Wow, I am really on, I'm on evacuation
Well-
mode here. At 10:35.
Job, Lou.
Well, I just got here. How come we? Oh, yes, I'm okay.
Does anybody want to make a motion? Thank you, Mika. Second,
Second.
Thad, all in favor?
Yes.
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 Passes 5-0. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you
everyone.
for taking
Bye.
time out of your day
Bye.
on a Saturday morning. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Sure. Stay safe, everybody.
You too.
Bye.